A Short and Easy Method of Prayer by Madame Guyon.
Chapter 14. Internal Silence. The Lord is in his holy temple. Let all the earth be silent before him. Habakkuk 2:20. Inward silence is absolutely indispensable because the word is essential and eternal, and so requires the soul to align herself with his nature. Then the soul will have the ability to receive God himself. Through our hearing, we're meant to receive sounds, and this is a passive procedure and not an active one. We're receiving sound and we're not talking. If we really do want to hear the divine voice, we must open our ears to God. Christ is the eternal word, and the soul remains dead, unenlightened, and barren until Christ speaks his life-giving words. This is why Christ requires our rapt, silent attention so that his words of life can work in our souls. The Bible repeatedly orders us carefully to listen to and heed God's voice. There are numerous exhortations to this effect, and I shall quote only a few of them. Listen to me, my people. Hear me, my nation, Isaiah 51:4, and again, listen to me, you whom I have upheld since you were conceived and have carried since your birth, Isaiah 46:3. The psalmist says, listen, O daughter, consider and give ear. Forget your people and your father's house. The king is enthralled by your beauty. Honor him, for he is your Lord. Psalm 45:10 and 11. We should forget ourselves and all self-interest and listen and be attentive to the voice of our God. These two simple actions, or rather passive approaches to God, attract his love, which he himself communicates. Outward silence is indispensable for the cultivation and improvement of inner silence. In fact, it is impossible for us to become truly internal without the love and practice of outward silence and retirement. God said, through the mouth of his prophet, I will lead her into the desert and speak tenderly to her. Hosea 2:14. And the person who is internally engaged with God cannot also be preoccupied and concerned about the numerous trifles that surround us. The differing attitudes of Mary and Martha clearly illustrate this. As Jesus and his disciples were on their way, he came to a village where a woman named Martha opened her home to him. She had a sister called Mary, who sat at the Lord's feet listening to what he said. But Martha was distracted by all the preparations that had to be made. She came to him and said, Lord, don't you care that my sister has left me to do the work by myself? Tell her to help me. Martha, Martha, the Lord answered, you're worried and upset about many things, but only one thing is needed. Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from her. Luke 10:38-42. When through stupidity or unfaithfulness we become distracted, or as it were lose our center, it is important to return immediately to our inner life with delight. Then we may learn to preserve the spirit and receive God's blessing in prayer throughout the day. For if prayer and recollection were totally restricted to a selected half hour or hour, we should reap very little fruit.